the ball goes, it's just him arriving there, whether he's covering in, defending, attacking. It just seems to find he has that ability to be at the right place at the right time.
Well, the hour mark is approaching, and whether England are thinking about changes, there are in golden bibs, there are 3, 4, 5, 6 England players warming up there, and the possibility, I'm sure, Gareth Southgate will use his full complement here. So 1, 2, 3 of the golden bibs might be coming on, and the ball is out of play for a throw-in to England on the far side. On the subject of substitutes, Matt Upson.
Yeah, there's a few, John, isn't there? Just getting ready, whether or not the intent, you can always tell because the little bit of tempo, the warm-up just kicks on a little notch when you know a player's had a little word in their ear. There's been a member of staff out of the England team as well, just keeping an eye on some of the players, having a little chat with them, whether or not he'll be the person to let them know. But I'm with you and Greeny thinking that a change must be imminent.
Iran coming forward, and a shot from way out, actually, which I thought might have taken a little deflection there, but no, there's no suggestion of it. And that effort was well wide of the mark from Ezatole, so it's a goal kick to England. So 3-0 it is, and England's next matches, in case you're thinking ahead, the programme is England's next match is on Friday against the United States. That's at 7 o'clock in the UK. And then the Wales game is on the Tuesday night at the same time. So England's next 2 matches kick off 7 o'clock in the evening, UK time. Ball is back with goalkeeper Hosseini down to our left, just bounces the ball on the ground. And I think the discussions might be taking place, but it looks as though perhaps the next change is going to be another Iranian change. Here's Sterling centrally, he's tackled but rides the challenge nicely, gives it to Saka on the edge of the box, into the area now on his left foot, trying to find a position, which he does, and shoots and scores. And it's 4-0 to England, and Bukayo Saka has got his second of the match. This great story, Bukayo Saka, one of the Gareth Southgate favourites. Think of everything that happened to him last year at the end of the final of the Euros, when he ended up in Gareth Southgate's arms in tears, and now here on the big stage again at the World Cup. 2 goals in the match, and England lead Iran now by 4 goals to nil.
He's had so much joy down that right-hand side in this second half, and again, it's wonderful play from Sterling just to hold the ball up, ride a challenge, take the blow for the team, and then from there, backing off. Matt, just one, you can't defend like that.
I mean, I was right behind the strike, and I think they actually made Saka's mind up, to be honest, because he came in, and I think he was looking to offload the ball because it was a bit close, but he just saw Iran just weren't coming out, and he thought, OK, I'll have another touch inside, have another touch. The distance was there, and when you hit into bodies, I mean, you as a goalkeeper, Rob, will know, it's the hardest shot to save, isn't it? The deflection, any kind of nick on the way through from any player is a major problem. That was quite a big deflection, but well played to Saka for just being positive.
Yeah, I mean, Hosseini there, you look at his reaction, he's just turned to his defenders, he's clanking his hands together to say, get tight. He's got all the time in the world. I don't think he ever really got the ball out of his feet, and it wasn't the greatest of strikes. He will not care.
England 4, Iran 0. Carlos Queiroz has made what is his 5th substitution while England was celebrating. The left-back, Milad Mohammadi, has come off, and Mehdi Torabi has come on to replace him. So England leading 4-0 in their first match of the World Cup, and at least 2 England substitutes are now preparing to come on as England take possession back on the edge of their own penalty area. It is 3 changes coming very shortly. So Callum Wilson is coming on, Marcus Rashford as well, as Iran have to clear from near the edge of their own penalty area, and Phil Foden also. But Iran coming forward, trying to vainly try and get something to take away from this match. Cross from the right-hand side, but straight at Harry Kane, who's able to clear it. The ball coming in from Nourolohi on the right flank. It's out of play. I'm not going to say the changes yet. I think it's going to be a quadruple change, Rob, with Jack Grealish.
Keep coming and coming.
Yeah, so 4 have emerged from underneath the the big, narrow, wide red roof of the England dugout. I think it is going to be just the 4 at the moment. What a luxury this is for a manager in his opening match at a World Cup to be able to do this, particularly here in the Gulf with the conditions that have been so well documented. Iran have this throw in, the ball slipped through into the penalty area, and a chance here, and it's a goal. Brilliant finish. Karami has scored it. It was slipped into the penalty area beautifully by Gully Zadeh. Lovely play from him on the edge of the box, but the ball was played through, and Karami of Porto was onto it in a flash, and that's an excellent finish, actually, high above Pickford. Iran have got a goal, but England lead 4-1.
Yeah, he's a player of real quality, and he's had so little in the game. But it is Gully Zadeh on the edge of the box with the clever play. He just lends the ball into it and asking the run to be made. Drifts round the back of Harry Maguire. John Stones can't get round. It's a brilliant strike from 9 yards in off the underside of the bar, and Harry Maguire's now gone down injured. Not sure why, but just a momentary lapse from England, and they'll need to wake up from that.
The board is being brought forward by the 4th official. The 4 England men are winning there, and it looks as though this might be a bang on the head as well, you know, for Harry Maguire, judging by what the England medical team are doing. One of them is crouched in front of Harry Kane and holding up his index finger and doing the you know, follow my finger with your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know whether I see just a trailing arm from Taremi that caught him from the strike on the goal, and he seems to have taken a blow. I think it's on the cheekbone. They're checking around the eye socket, so it's something that they're taking every precaution with, and rightly so, as we saw in the first half, where maybe you're wondering they were taking a chance with it.
Harry Maguire it is, by the way. I might have said Harry Kane there, but Harry Maguire it is who's sitting on the ground, having taken a bang on the face. So Gareth Southgate not yet making the changes, because it might be. In fact, Eric Dyer's now actually been called forward instead. So it looks as though it's Eric Dyer who's going to come on. And while we have yet another stoppage in this match, but an important one nevertheless, another thought from you, Matt, Upson down behind the goal.
Yeah, well, it was just one of those moves where the ball had popped in and we just switched off for that momentary second. And when you do with players like Taremi, who you know, he's been the real danger man in terms of his movement and his goal-scoring capability. He made a nice little diagonal run, and it's tough for a centre-back because you lose that player on your right and you know it's a straight pass on the left-hand side of you. And Maguire just couldn't adjust to it. It was a nice run, really well timed. Maybe just identifying that a bit earlier and getting your body in to try and block that passageway, but nice move from Iran.
Is that a lack of game time, Matt? Is that, you know, he hasn't played as much?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is starting position as well, though, Rob, in terms of knowing where Taremi is, seeing where the ball has just popped into. All of a sudden, that adjustment's got to be quicker. Either just drop straight off, shuffle your positions to try and cut out the pass, almost gamble sometimes if you're in trouble. But, you know, it was nicely worked. It was a nice time run, and the finish was excellent.
Well, Harry Maguire has been led away off the field, but England have not been able to bring on Eric Dyer, for which he's had a word to say to the 4th official there, and I think that they're saying we weren't able to get the paperwork done or get the electronic board sorted out, so England are playing with 10 men at the moment. Yeah. And Jude Bellingham's had to drop in alongside John Stones in central defence.
The 4th official has not many jobs, and one of them isn't the boards to hold up for the substitutes, and he didn't have one, so he can't come on.
And Steve Holland is not best pleased about this, and understandably so. England 4, Iran 1. England and the FA, of course, not in the best of humour with FIFA after the events of the last 24 hours and the armband farrago. So Jude Bellingham at central defence wins a header, gets up and heads it away in stately fashion. But against the 10 men currently, Iran are coming forward and they're looking for a second goal. And here's the ball on the right-hand side, and the defender falls over, and it's played back towards the edge of the box, but the shot is blocked. It comes out, and then with his left foot, a stretching effort is sent well wide by Nuralohi, and it is a goal kick.
Well, this is a mess, because England need to get Eric Dyer on the pitch, and they're all a bit all over the place, because Bellingham had done the right thing and dropping into centre-half, but no one had dropped into the midfield, so there's a great big hole there. Iran has exploited it. It's become a little bit messy. The Iran fans have got the voice back, and it all seems a little bit out of control from England for a few moments, but the subs are coming on now, which will inevitably take its toll on the game and die it down again.
Well, that's been the worst 5 minutes of the World Cup so far for England, conceding the goal that Taremi scored, and then Kieran Trippier rather comically falling over, actually, as Iran attacked, as he tried to twist around, lost balance, fell over inside the box, and then Iran ended up with a shot on the England goal. But now we're going to see the rest of these substitutions. So Eric Dyer's on to win his 48th cap for England, missed the Euros, wasn't selected, but of course played such a big part in the World Cup in Russia 4 years ago. Jack Grealish is on to his 25th cap. Phil Foden also onto the field to win his 19th cap for England. And Mason Mount has made way. And who is the other player who has come on? It is Marcus Rashford, who is on. So Marcus Rashford makes his England comeback as Shaw is able to turn and give the ball back to Pickford. So here tonight in Doha, Marcus Rashford now gets his first touch of the ball, and he's into the area, and he's slipped it in! Left-footed finish, a 5th goal for England, and Marcus Rashford, who's been out of the England picture completely since the final of the Euros last year, instantly back into the action here in Doha, and scores what is his 13th goal for his country, and England lead 5-1 against Iran in their opening group match.
Wow, it's a dream start for Marcus Rashford. First touch of the ball, driving into the box. You're thinking he's going to shoot with his stronger right foot. Cool as you like, steps inside. Gareth Southgate wanted more goals from away from Harry Kane. Well, we've got them tonight, but it was brilliant play from Harry Kane to hold it up, lay it off, and that is just as simple, looked like a simple finish, but he made it look simple.
Matt, what about your view of that?
Yeah, well, England fans in dreamland behind me here, John, really getting behind that. You can tell they're all pretty relaxed now and enjoying the game, but I thought it was all about the contact that Harry Kane made just before he controlled it. He had a little look over his shoulder, saw the centre-half, and just stepped into him, took that contact, just bumped him, and the touch out of the sky, well, it was absolute world-class. It set the whole chance up, and then it was a simple pass wide, let Marcus Rashford do his thing, but the ability for Kane to know his surroundings, know the centre-half's there, use him just to take that contact and then have the touch was absolutely brilliant.
Well, there we are. Rashford makes it 5-1 to England. So Marcus Rashford scores on Monday the 21st of November 2022. The last time he kicked a ball for England was when he hit the post with the penalty last summer in the European Championship final. Form, injuries have played a part in that, but he's not got onto the field for England since that day of the final.
Well, if Gareth Southgate was looking for things to happen in this game, what do I need to happen? That was one of them, and yeah, he'll feel back at home, back involved, and scoring in a World Cup. Can't take that away from him now.
No, and another assist for Harry Kane, but not a goal yet. England score 5 goals in their opening match of the World Cup, and Kane doesn't get any of them.
It's a drought.
It's official drought. Are you worried, Gareth? Should that be my opening question?
Yeah. Please, see, I don't know. If we could see his picture of his face when you get a response, that'd be great.
England 5, Iran 1. We'll try and bring you live interviews from down in the dressing room area, but I'm conscious of the fact that we will be pretty much straight into Senegal, Netherlands, which kicks off 4 o'clock UK time. And we'll have commentary on Senegal, Netherlands from 4 o'clock, and then USA, Wales from 7 o'clock. And then you'll be able to have your say on 606, by the way, after that. Double Chris Sutton today, double Sutton. They'll be on from 10 o'clock to take your calls on 5 Live before it all begins again tomorrow in the morning with Rick Edwards, who's here with us in Doha. I don't know whether you've crossed paths with him yet, Rob.
I will be tomorrow morning.
Yeah, good, excellent. Pleased to hear about that. So 6 a.m. every morning, 5 Live breakfast from here in Doha, and take the World Cup with you all day long on BBC Sounds on your device. I hope the app works better than the ticketing app that FIFA had in operation for this match tonight that caused problems for the England fans before the game. Callum Wilson is now going to come on and make his World Cup debut, and it is Harry Kane who will make way. So no goals then for the captain in the opening match. There was a worrying moment when he sustained that, what looked like an injury from the poor Ali Ganji tackle, but that is it, and he's handed the armband around, and on comes Callum Wilson then. So this is nice as well. Callum Wilson, who won his first cap back in 2018, scored on his debut against the United States, but has been out of the picture for 3 years. So it's his first cap for England for 3 years, and it is his 5th in all. So Callum Wilson on for Harry Kane to have a go in the number 9 position up front. So England leading Iran by 5-1. Down to side to Matt Upson.
I just wonder if anyone's surprised that Jude Bellingham hasn't come off at all. I mean, he's everywhere, and you just see him turn with the ball, then he got clumsily tackled from behind, and that for me is the biggest concern looking at this game at the moment. He's been so good, and he's putting so much energy into this game. You almost kind of want him, get him to stand still, or just let him have a rest and take it easy for a bit.
Now, going into the game, he wasn't a cert for the starting 11, but after this performance today, he's kind of looking at it thinking, there's no way you can take him out the team now.
So 5-1, and this, if it stays like this, this will be England's most handsome victory in an opening match at a World Cup. But the ball is played through, and Taremi is in again, but this time, as he ran away from Eric Dyer on the edge of the penalty area into the box, the ball sort of bounced away from him. He rather slashed at it and hit it well wide. Goal kick.
It's a good long straight ball down the channel, and he's onto it. The ball stemmed from Jude Bellingham having the ball and firing it into Phil Foden. It's a great pass at lending in the ball. I'll give you the ball, I'll trust you with the ball, and it wasn't a great touch from Phil Foden. He lost it. England were open. Another sub for Iran.
Well, this is interesting because it's Azmoun who is coming on. Sardar Azmoun, who was a doubt with a calf injury, the Bayer Leverkusen man, and he's been quite outspoken against the Iranian regime, against the government there, and when he ran onto the field, there were clearly whistles and boos from the Iranian section there. So that mirrors the kind of thing that we saw before the match, when there was whistling and booing from the Iranian supporters when their players did not sing the national anthem. But he's onto the field, one of the most important players, 3rd on the all-time list of Iranian goal scorers in international football. But England now, here's Phil Foden, one of the England substitutes, and he gets the ball back on the right-hand side, and he's looking for Rashford, who's already in the goals. Foden, this is classic Phil Foden, twisting, turning, all business, full 360 degrees, then finding his Manchester City teammate Grealish. Now it's back to Rashford on the right-hand side, poor ball into the penalty actually by Rashford, and it bounces away, and England are able to clear away, Iran are able to clear away to Bellingham. So all of the changes have been made. Now that's 5 changes for it. In actual fact, he might have one more left, mightn't he, because of the Harry Maguire concussion injury. The official attendance was announced there, which I just missed. I'm not sure we're able to pick it up in that language, whatever that was.
It didn't matter what language is it's inaudible in any language.
Yes, well, that's a good point, yeah. And anyway, in the international language of football, England lead Iran by 5-1. And here's Rashford with it near the centre circle, back to Rice, and then back to Stones in the centre circle. So the goal that Taremi scored is a little blot on the copybook. So after the 5 consecutive clean sheets to start the Euros last year, that won't be happening. But other than that,
no, it's been plain sailing, and looking at Iran and saying, right, okay, in terms of progressing in the group, we're saying it was the most even group. The 2 other teams, Wales, of course, and the USA, will look at this and think, well, we can get at them, because they're not. Yes, they put up a fight for a moment in the first half, but you forget in there that there was a 15-minute delay for the keeper's injury, and actually it was all plain sailing fairly early in the first half.
Yeah. They've had a terrible day, Iran.
I think it's been tough, and you just sense that it's been a step too far to go onto the pitch as well.
A little bit like yesterday, though, the discussion that followed that match, the Ecuador game, you know, how much was it a case of Qatar not performing, how much was it a case of Ecuador performing? Well, I think with England here, they really have performed. We've got a stoppage at the moment, incidentally. There's another one on the far side. It is Haisafi, the captain, who seems to have gone down with cramp when he was about to take a throw in. So I think this could set a World Cup record for the longest amount of minutes played in a match that was due to last 90 minutes. After 14 minutes were added on at the end of the first half.
We need Statman Dave.
Where is he?
It's not often I say that.
I think he might be on the World Cup daily every night.
Excellent. Well, there's a question for Dave. Get on it.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I don't know whether he does that one.
Stop criticising keepers.
Right, Haisafi has sat down now on the far side. I mean, he could have taken one step off the pitch on the far side and let play continue, but they weren't going to do that. So another lengthy stoppage. So what's in your mind, Matt Upson, down there in your jumper?
I'm thinking it's quite a wily piece of play from the Iran left-back, because you're absolutely right, John. He just knew he was off the pitch. He almost like kind of just stepped on, went down on one knee, looked like he was adjusting something, didn't know what was going on, but it looks like it's good old-fashioned cramp. But I just want to see England control and see this game out. Keep everyone healthy, keep everyone fit. Don't dwell on the ball too long. Allow a late, tired tackle come in and catch anyone. Do it properly, move the ball quickly, see it through, and then, you know, reflect on what's been a pretty good performance.
It has. Just a few months after the hostile crowd at Molineux were telling Gareth Southgate that he didn't know what he was doing. Here we are watching the first match of the World Cup, and Gareth Southgate's team are winning 5-1. And this will be a record win for England in their first match at a World Cup. Their biggest margins of victory in their opening matches at any World Cup. I'll run you through them in a moment. But England looking for another one, trying to match the record 6-1 against Panama in Russia. But Iran are able to win the ball back, but Eric Dyer is able to step across. Yes, so England's biggest wins in their first match at a World Cup, you have to go back to 1982, when France were beaten 3-1 in Bilbao, in the match that Brian Robson scored after 27 seconds. Or all the way back to 1954, when England beat Belgium 4-2 after extra time in their first match at the World Cup. So 2-goal margin is the record, and currently it is 5-1. So this is some way to get out of that slump of form, in inverted commas, the 6-match run without a victory for England, which was the longest run that they'd gone on without a win since 1993. 5-1 the score. This is BBC Radio 5 live in Doha in the Khalifa Stadium. Foden, nice from him, sticks his chest out, gets the pass with his left foot to the right-hand side, actually overhit to Rashford, but Rashford's onto it, into the penalty area, beats 2 men, shoots left-footed, deflected across the penalty area. That would have been a corker if he'd scored that, Rashford.
Brilliant bit of skill, brilliant feint.
And here's Foden now. England are onto it again. Ball slipped through from him into the penalty area. Wilson was after it, but defender got there and helped it behind, and it's an England corner.
This England side is just so athletic. They've got so much pace, so much ability to cover ground. That's something that Iran haven't been able to live with. Not only just going towards their end goal, but when they clear it, they can cover the ground. They just cannot live with them all over the pitch.
So it is a corner for England from the left, and they've caused problems with almost every set piece that they've had, so don't rule out another goal yet. Shaw This one's a deep one towards the back post. No Maguire on the field anymore. Defender got a touch to that. Two men have gone down. There might have been another clash of heads in there. The referee's blown his whistle. I think it's the defender who has come off worst. And we're just hearing a reaction from the Iranian supporters to our right. And Carlos Queiroz, with his team 5-1 down, has walked right across the technical area and is blowing kisses to the Iranian crowd, and I guess is thanking them for their presence, probably in the circumstances with what's happening in Iran. You know, he's got a long association, even though he's just taken over again as the coach of Iran. You know, he was saying to them, I guess, you know, just thanks for being here despite what's happened on the field. As Grealish now scampers away from 2 or 3 challenges, then plays it through to Rashford. Now it's back to Bellingham. And these substitutions that Gareth Southgate has made have really revitalised England. And you've got hungry England players here against the tired and tiring Iranian side, and they are looking for more goals, no question.
Yeah, well, there's 4 attacking changes, wasn't it? And the people, they've got their own ideas of what they want to do. They want to hit the ground running themselves. They want to get a goal, and Russia's already done so. And just wondering, Carlos Queiroz went all that way over. He was still a good 20-30 yards away from the fans, so he was fairly safe.
Yeah, it was a long way to go at 69. Here's Grealish, back to Rashford. Rashford now out to the right-hand side, and Foden has continued his run down into the full-back position. And here is Grealish, again on the right-hand side. Jack Grealish is able to play it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Comes back to Rashford. Now Grealish again on the right. Little ball into the penalty area. Foden with a flick. Rashford, it just ran away from him, but it runs to Shaw. And back to Rashford once more on the edge of the D. And they will play it back to Declan Rice, who actually is dispossessed. So Iran are going to break away downfield and play the ball out towards the left-hand side to Golizada. And now he finds his pass cut out by Trippier, and it's a throw into Iran down the left. 5-1 England lead.
Yeah, good from Trippier to get the block in. Momentary lapse from Declan Rice, but again, England, when they attack with the pace and the skill that they have, and Foden and Grealish get going.
As Iran play a shortish pass back to goalkeeper Hosseini, who was able to get out of his penalty area and clear it, and they couldn't keep it in on the far side. So a throw in to England. We're in the 87th minute, and it is a free kick to England. A throw into England on the far side that they take. So the goal scorers tonight for England: Bellingham got the ball rolling with that excellent header. 2 goals for Saka, 1 in each half, 1 for Sterling, and then 1 for Marcus Rashford on his England return. And England with the ball inside their own half. The curving roof of the stadium above, floodlights brightly on. It's got a couple of arches, this stadium. Yellow lights are on that. And the ball is played forward by Shaw, but the goalkeeper is able to come out and claim that. And I think some people are now making their way home. I think it's not quite as full as it was. The ball is played back to goalkeeper Hosseini, who clears. But I don't think any of the England fans who are here have left yet. They'll be waiting to give this England team an ovation after what is going to be a record win for their first match at a World Cup.
Absolutely, and it's as a spectacle. You can understand the people leaving now. It's been over for quite some time, but the way that England played and attacked at times has been why people came, why people have turned up, and why they've been a really, really confident win. There was that slip with the goal. Beyond that, just the momentary few moments where Iran have caused problems, mainly due to England, the product of their own downfall, but really, on the whole, a really confident and consummate performance.
Yeah, great start for England at this World Cup, and they'll feel a lot better about themselves. And actually, you know, in some ways, it's been a step back into the qualifying campaign, and putting away a poor team, which Iran have been today. And remember, they racked up 39 goals in that qualifying campaign, which was a record for England in any World Cup or European Championship qualifying campaign. But you know, many people would say, well, look at the standard of the opposition, and when it comes to England playing the better teams, they're not able to do that. But listen, as Jimmy Armfield always used to say to us, you can only beat the team that's in front of you, and England have beaten this Iranian team well.
I was trying to think of something really hard different to say than that, but yeah, and it was, I think, You're looking at Gareth Southgate now, and you'd say, well, in the games in the future, making the subs and things like that. This second half has been a pretty slow pace. And
Bellingham playing the ball through for Wilson, and it's reached Wilson, and Wilson now into the area, plays it across, Grealish! It's 6-1! What a start for England in Doha! And Jack Grealish joins the party now to score only his second goal for England. That'll mean a great deal to him. His first at a World Cup on this stage, and his teammates are surrounding him. And England match what they did to Panama in Russia 4 years ago. They're winning 6-1 here against Iran.
At times his run to perfection, Callum Wilson, and for a man coming onto the scene in his first World Cup game, to have the opportunity to score, but to have the awareness to play the most unselfish of balls square to Jack Grealish. And it all stems from Jude Bellingham's through ball. And that man has been a revelation tonight. If you didn't already know about him, well, mark your card, he's on the scene.
Jack Grealish has absolutely loved that moment. You were right next to the celebration down there on the ball, or at least probably, what, 15 yards away, Matt, from the celebration.
Yeah, it was nice, good spirit amongst the group. Declan Rice coming over, having a little word with Jack Grealish. Loved every minute. His eyes lit up, John. I cannot tell you. I was kind of on the angle, and I was just fully expecting Callum Wilson to shoot, just because of the stage of the game you've come on, the scoreline. But fair play to him. That is what Gareth Southgate would be so happy with. That kind of collective play of being a team, identifying somebody else is in a better position to score, and being unselfish is a really good asset for a team to have, and for him to have that in that position, fair play to him. But Jack Grealish's eyes were just like lit up completely with the opportunity just to tap that in.
Yes. Thank you, Matt. Matt Upson down on the touchline. Rob Green with us here up in the commentary position. I can think of at least one Newcastle United number 9 that might not have done that. As the ball's played towards the edge of the penalty area, Shaw takes it down, and England have it comfortably on the edge of their own penalty area, just knocking it around. This is party stuff now, just triangles around the Iranian players. Jack Grealish, by the way, so second goal for him for England in his 25th appearance. That's a little bit of a milestone, isn't it? The quarter century. His only other goal was in Andorra when we were there in the October of last year in the qualifier. He scored in the 5-0 win. What a contrast that, scoring in Andorra to scoring here in the heat of the action at the World Cup.
Well, you talked about Jermaine Defoe scoring 20 goals earlier. He had one against Andorra, nicked away. I remember David Nugent running onto the line as the ball was going over, and he kicked it in. And Jermaine Defoe was fuming. That was the complete opposite. A real opportunity to score in a World Cup, and you turn around and you go, no, there you go, mate, you can have it.
Well, we've got only 10 minutes of added time at the end of the second half. So
Statman Dave's got his work cut out later.
I think that can we play you every week from the England supporters? It's a little unkind, isn't it, to Iran when you think of the backdrop to this game for them? But you know, you can't question their enjoyment of this, the England fans. And what a start, really. 6-1 in your first match. Here is Foden, now Bellingham. Bellingham to Grealish on the left-hand side. Grealish with the headband on, hair swept back. Bellingham now, who I think is likely to get the all of the praise and the awards for man of the match. Bellingham flicks a header on, down for Grealish, who's in the right-back position, just keeps it in play with the outside of his right heel, and then uses Bellingham, who's at close quarters, and then Bellingham curls it in, but it curls it over the top of Wilson and into the arms of goalkeeper Hosseini.
Now, slightly harder pass than the one that Callum Wilson set on a plate for Grealish moments ago, but it's just in this midfield with Rice and Bellingham where Iran have been pulled all over, and because the midfield has been so stretched and so overrun by those two in particular, they've become such a big gap between the midfield, the attack and the defence, that the runners of England have had had a real pleasure to play in that.
So 6-1, if you've just switched on to us on 5 Live, This is the last knockings of this opening match for England in this group, the opening match in Group B. This is the group, the only group in which all 4 teams were in the top 20 of the world rankings, as Grealish is bundled over right in front of Carlos Queiroz. But I think you have to qualify this because of what is happening with Iran in the build-up, what's happening at home, and also the fact that Carlos Queiroz coming in only, 74 days before the World Cup began.
I think also, for the sakes of, I know England have now won comfortably, but for the sakes of them and the group itself, that they put in more of a performance that we know that they're capable of.
That's the next match in Group A next, Senegal, Netherlands, and then that's 4 o'clock kickoff UK time, and USA, Wales at 7 o'clock UK time. How far away is 4 o'clock? What time is it? I've totally lost track of this. So it is now just after 6 here. Yeah, so we've got just under an hour, is that right? Before kickoff? Yes, just under an hour before that match kicks off. And in that time, we'll try and bring you interviews from down in the dressing room area. We've got our high-tech equipment set up down there that I hope is going to work, as Iran have the ball in the central third and then play it back into their own half, but understandably looking really a little bedraggled now, as you would coming to a World Cup with all of the hopes that any footballer would have to be 6-1 down in the first match. Ball in from the left-hand side, Taramia's after it, couldn't get his head to it, and it was nodded away. Comes out on the right-hand side, Moharimi, left-footed ball across the edge of the box. Azmoun was after it, but England are able to win back possession, and suddenly they're on the halfway line with Foden, but Foden overhits his pass by a distance through to goalkeeper Hosseini. So we've had 5.5 minutes of the 10 that have been added on. There will be discussions as well about that decision for goalkeeper Berenvand to play on in the first half. Harry Maguire's gone off with a concussion injury as well, it would seem, so we'll have to see how he is. But here is Iran coming forward, but Pickford gives a big shout there to Eric Dyer, who is able to head the ball down and away. Grealish, oh, he's caught late there. He caught late. That was a very late challenge. Played the ball away, but he knew it was coming, I think, so was off the ground by the time the impact was made on him.
Yeah, I could ride it. And game's lost all shape now, lost all any sort of pattern. It's just, if you want to get it and you can run with it and you've got space, you can do, and that's what Jack Grealish loves.
That was poor Ali Ganji who fouled Grealish there, who was on a yellow card. That was a second yellow card.
Yep, it should have been a red.
The referee has been extremely lenient there on him, as Iran win a free kick inside their own penalty area.
I think it just sums up where they've been, a yard off the pace with the game, really, and it's been too much. Poor Ali Ganji. He's not for the first time, like you say. One was with Harry Kane trying to chase him. Now with Jack Grealish arriving late. It's not on his own. He's been a yard off it all.
Well, I know that wise football watchers will be thinking that the pre-tournament form means nothing. It's what you do when you get here. And as Gareth Southgate was saying in advance of this, and indeed every tournament that he's been at, that is how you will be remembered. That is your, as they like to call it these days, the legacy. The legacy of any manager, any international manager, is how your team performs at the tournament.
Well, you can break all the records you want in qualifying, really. Iran.
As the ball's played through, and this could be a chance for a second Iranian goal, but the crossbar is struck, and what an opportunity that was. One-on-one with Pickford, and it was the Bayer Leverkusen man, Azmoun, with the chance, who was put through. That should have been a second Iranian goal, and I think Pickford might have got a touch to it onto the bar.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
save. That was a terrific save.
Yeah, just waited and waited and waited, and Azmoun had all the time he wanted to pick his spot, and as he goes down, just leave your trailing arm to stay high and he can react above you, and he did that. It's a wonderful touch from Jordan Pickford. He's had so little to do. You think he's been stood out there for nearly 2 hours now. It's been so long that to keep your concentration like that. It's just a little slip from England. John Stones this time not tracking.
It's a good question. How long is this match now? If we had 90 minutes, then they added on 14 in the first half, and now we've had another 10. It's a free kick, though, to Iran on the right-hand side. Just work that out, Rob, while I'm doing this. It's a free kick that is going to be taken in from the left-hand side by Haisafi, the captain. So Pickford, you know, he'll feel he's contributed now, having conceded the goal that Taremi scored. Very good save. Haisafi plays this in. Pickford comes and gets a punch on that. And that was a good delivery, actually, by Haisafi into the edge of the 6-yard box. And Pickford came, players were arriving, there's a little bit of a dust-up. And the referee's blowing his whistle. And actually, Jordan Pickford, of all people, the once excitable Jordan Pickford, actually stepped in there and gave it the calm down everybody. Who'd have thought?
Well, Temple's afraid, and just the run into the box, just clashing the bodies, a push. Ref's now having a word. It's been in the rumbling on in the background all game, hasn't it? The arguing, the late tackles, the petulance has been there. It's just England have been so good in an attacking sense, they've blown Iran away. This is what they would have wanted for 90 minutes or however long it's been.
Well, there's no need for this now. The referee has called over the players, and they're having a look at VAR, actually. So there must be a chance that this is a penalty. That something happened in the midst of that when the free kick was played in by Haisafi.
Fuck off.
That maybe one of the England players has either committed a foul or perhaps the way that they reacted inside the penalty area. So the referee's coming across, and we know what normally happens here. So there is a review for a possible penalty. We're seeing the replays now. These are the replays that the video assistant referee will be watching.
Well, there's a tug of the shirt from John Stones, which is the problem. It's whether
on Pour Ali Ganji. So he did, yeah. He's got a handful. He has a handful of Pour Ali Ganji's shirt, John Stones.
But it's whether the reaction of Pour Ali Ganji is warranted from the tug. And for me, there's not a big tug in there. I think he realises he's not going to win the ball.
Well, that could be given as a penalty because he's got the shirt. He's pulled the shirt. The referee's had a look at the screen down between the dugouts. Here he comes. I think we're going to see the rectangle any moment now. Yep, there it is, and the penalty is given. And after England were not given what looked to me a stonewall penalty for wrestling inside the penalty area. You know, there is gross inconsistency here in that Iran have been given a penalty, but this for a shirt pull.
Well, there is a pull. It's debatable as to whether it's enough to bring a player down. That's debatable, but the referee clearly didn't see it. What was checked and what was seen was the rugby tackle in the first half of the penalty.
Exactly.
So it is going to be Mehdi Taremi with his chance to score his second goal of the match. So the Porto striker standing on the edge of the box, Jordan Pickford with his excellent goal penalty saving record. And he's jumping up, star jumps on the line, Jordan Pickford. Remember those saves in the penalty shootout at the end of the Euro final. He's already made one brilliant save to keep out Azmoun in the last few moments. But now, deep in added time, a chance for Iran to score their second goal of the match. Won't affect the outcome, but Taremi waits. There's the whistle. Still he stands on the edge of the D. Still he stands on the edge of the penalty area in the D. Still he waits. And now final, little steps on the spot. And now he begins his run-up, right-footed, and he sends Jordan Pickford the wrong way. Taremi has scored his second goal of the match. Iran have scored 2, but England lead 6-2. And there can only be seconds left of the match.
Well, it's been a bit of a strange ending to the game, and that adds to it, really. Disjointed. Teams being able to attack at will. And then from there, that goal from the free kick, a tug on the shirt, not seen by the referee, then given. We've seen worse in this game that weren't given, so all very odd.
So England 6, Iran 2 is the final score. There is only just time for England to kick off, and 6-2 is the final score. That's tennis. It's not football.
It's been a strange game and a bit overawed for Iran from the start, from the kick-off. England were too good. And then from there, in the second half, it lost all shape, it lost all semblance of a real competition. And realistically, it's been a strange scoreline because actually, in total, 11 shots on target, 8 goals is kind of sums it up, really. So a great start for England, a great start in terms of performance in an attacking sense. That's where we looked bereft of ideas in the games, in the build-up games in the recent past, and all of a sudden 6 goals, plenty of attacking options, plenty of attacking choices, a lot of box ticks at Gareth Southgate. Just one questionable one about the defence, about being
Second delay the crowd.
Today's Budweiser player of the match is England's number 17.
Breathtaking performance in many ways, Alan, against a team obviously that struggled, but nevertheless.
It's all about having a positive start. You know what it does for your confidence. The way they started the game, they carried it on. Every time they went forward, they looked a threat, and every player played his part. It was a really, really impressive performance. I mean, there were so many, but the young boy, can we call him that? He's not really now, he's a man, isn't he, Bellingham? Oh my word, what a performance, incredible.
Talk about stamping your mark on the biggest stage of all, Rio.
Oh, I said how confident and composed he is before in the interview. Exactly the same out on the pitch. The authority that he plays with out on the pitch goes well beyond the years. I mean, he's a fabulous footballer, but delivering at a World Cup like that at that age. We talk about the great midfielders we've played with and we've seen in England in our generation and even maybe yours. Wow. None of them were doing what he's doing at this age, on this stage. That says, I'm not saying he's better or he's going to be as good as all of them, but at this age, none of them were doing what he's doing, and it's fabulous to see.
Yeah. People will say, oh, it's only Iran, but, you know, Iran have shown they've traditionally been difficult to beat in World Cups.
It doesn't matter.
They're ranked 20 in the world. They're not, you know...
But honestly, there's no walkover, and we said that beforehand. I just think England deserve all the credit today. With all of that to deal with. It's been excellent. From minute one, when the keeper got injured, it sort of start the game a little bit, but they found the second gear, and from defence to midfield to attack, yeah, we got 2 sloppy goals, but the whole team were brilliant. I like the tactical bit as well with Bellingham. He was playing more of an advanced number 8 role, but in the second half, more to a 4-2-3-1, a bit deeper, and they allowed Foden and Grealish to get on the ball in them areas.
Well done, Gareth Southgate.